I love combat sports. No other sport could get my heart beating faster than when it's a UFC main event and the two fighters are staring off at each other. And I've started competing in combat sports, and I could tell you there's nothing like it. And martial arts as a whole has helped me become a better person through the people I've met and just helping me outside of the sport itself. But as much as I love combat sports, there is one thing I'm not the biggest fan of, and that's the fact that you get brain damage. But recently I found the absolute hidden gem of a YouTube channel. His name is Simon Borec. He's a medical school student, and he studies ways fighters can stay healthy, especially in the brain. So I'm going to share 3 things that I learned from him that I'm going to start doing to help keep my brain healthy while competing in combat sports. The first thing is taking creatine. I first started taking creatine when I was in college playing football. And I did feel an actual difference, not just in my strength, but I also felt more focused during practice also. And I had a friend on the team whose bench press went from 285 to 315 over the course of 2 months. And I was like, bro, what have you been doing differently? Like, this is insane. And he told me, bro, that creatine is magic. And there's a bunch of solid evidence to prove that it's not just a placebo. But I've actually also heard Dr. Huberman mention that it helps heal traumatic brain injuries. But Simon Borec explains that it actually helps with your overall brain health also. I'm not going to try to explain it because I still don't understand how exactly, so I'm going to link Simon's video if you want to know why. But he did mention that if you want to take it for brain health benefits and not just for your muscles, you should bump the dosage up from 5 grams a day, which is what they recommend, to 10 grams a day. And I think he mentioned this is because it's hard for the creatine to get into your blood-brain barrier, and most of it goes into your muscles, so you need to take a little bit extra so it gets into your brain. I think that's what he said. Again, I'm not 100% sure why this works. So watch his video if you want to know exactly why. Next thing I'm going to do is making sure I consume more omega-3 fatty acids. Again, it's a little bit hard to explain, but I've seen Dr. Andrew Huberman also mention these in his podcast about foods to help keep your brain healthy. I'll link that podcast in the description below, but Simon described omega-3s as your brain's building blocks. So I'm going to do things like eating more salmon, hopefully 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm gonna make sure it's wild caught salmon because farm raised salmon is actually kind of disgusting if you look into it. And I don't eat salmon much as of right now, but I remember I used to, and my recipe is pretty simple. I just chuck it in the oven with a piece of lemon on it. I'll put a recipe that I follow in the description below. It's not Michelin star or anything, but it still tastes really good, and it's super easy to make. And later on, I'll probably start taking a supplement like fish oil or krill oil, and I'm sure that'll help a lot. Now, last thing I'm going to incorporate to help keep my brain healthy is just eating more blueberries and walnuts. I've heard before that blueberries helps with your brain from a YouTuber called John Meadows. Sadly, he passed away, but he was a bodybuilding YouTuber. And I've always known blueberries are just a really good antioxidant. And I also heard walnuts are good for your brain, but I wasn't exactly sure why before Simon's channel. And again, it's just a really good source of omega-3s. So what I'm going to do is when it's the end of the week and I'm going to sit down with a movie, instead of snacking on some popcorn, I'll probably just buy some blueberries and walnuts and eat that. So I'm doing something to keep my brain healthy while I'm watching a movie. So these are 3 simple things that I got from Simon's channel that I'm going to start doing to help keep my brain healthy. Of course, there's many more things you could start doing though. And there's other things I've already been doing for a healthy brain that I've heard Simon mention. Things like taking really good care of my sleep schedule and my sleep quality. Training smart by not going too crazy and sparring all the time.
I'm ready to fucking die here, you! I wanna fucking die!
And something that I mentioned a lot in this channel, which is training your neck. But make sure you check out Simon's channel if you want to learn more ways of how to keep your brain healthy. And he overall just has a lot of good information on his channel. I'm gonna link it in the description below along with some other videos that really helped me a lot. Not just the ones related to brain health. And if you're new to this channel, my goal is to help martial artists and athletes with their goals. So subscribe if you think this channel will help you. And check out my video on 5 ways to prevent brain damage in combat and contact sports. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.